Welcome to the Nerd Cave Newz. I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined along with a band that is very, 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 very unknown. They play dive bars and juke joints. Their lead singer is a man that needs introduction. He's got one snaggle tooth. He's got 3 hairs on his head. And he smells like corn chips. It's Tootie and the Blowfish.
Lord. Oh. No. I could say what not the name, but that exposition. I'm just like, you make me sound like something else, but I'm not going to say that on this on the stream. But Tootie and the Blowfish. Okay. All right. If anything, you get points for creativity, but the name's okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take okay because I literally made all that exposition up on the spot.
Well, when you kept going very, 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 I'm like, all right, Zach, come on. I need you to pick this up. Don't disappoint me.
I don't disappoint. I am the man, the myth, the legend. I am the king of E3. I am the Disney song champion. I am the reigning emperor, Lord Supreme, the supreme ruler of the Nerd Cave. So I don't disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
Shock and awe, baby. Shock and awe.
Shake and bake.
Yeah. Guys, we hope you're doing well. Welcome. This is the Nerd Cave Newz, where each and every week we run you through all the video game news that you need to know. You can watch us live on twitch.tv/NerdCave Network on Tuesdays. Not for this show. This is completely on YouTube, guys. I didn't take that out of there. You can watch this show live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time on youtube.com/NerdCave Network. Make sure to hit the follow and subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything, and like it so more people get to see the video. We also have a podcast version that's available on podcast services around the globe. And make sure to hit that 5-star review.
5,
you can support
no less.
No more. No less.
No, they
no
can give
more.
us more. They
No,
can get, I'll say.
No, don't. No more.
Okay.
I don't want any. Technically, they can't give us higher than a 5-star rating. So no more. I only want a 5-star rating. We got a bell curve that we got to maintain here.
Fair.
You can support us by using creator code NerdCave at checkout in the Epic Games Store, even on free games. It helps us out. Get those V-Bucks and Sony games with our creator code and be epic. Again, our creator code is NerdCave, and Miles Morales is coming out in November. Brandon told me Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming out on the old PC port.
Okay.
So,
and then Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection is next week.
Yeah. So get them PlayStation games that you didn't never get.
Exactly. And Sackboy Big Adventure, I think, is the week after.
Yeah. Yeah. You can also support us, guys, by going over to patreon.com/nerdcave. Become part of the ship, part of the exclusive crew, just like our wonderful crew members, the first mate, Brandon Higgs. It's spoopy. It's October.
There you go. I was about to say.
Helmsman, the conductor. Our gunners, Daniel Sanford, Rushing Waters Yoga, Marilyn James, Brittany, the Granny B. Harrison, and our deckhand, Martin Sega.
That was good.
Thank you.
Very haunting. I almost want to throw in the thing from Eustace from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Ooga booga booga!
You stupid dog!
You made me look bad.
October is here, guys, and it will be gone before you know it. Be gone before you know it. The pumpkin spice will be gone.
Through.
Yeah, we're not halfway through. Are we halfway? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, about close.
Dang, man!
I know.
Who put water in this month? It's running fast. I don't know what's going on here, guys. October is almost already done, apparently. That means we're closer to God of War. That's all I can think of, you
Yeah,
know?
that's true. Which, by the way, where's our tracker at? Because we are under 30 days for
Ooh, baby,
sure.
baby. Let's get that tracker up. There we go. 26 days, 5 hours, 33 minutes. Oh, baby, baby.
Oh, it's so nice to see it. Like, months ago when we finally got a release date, it was like 100 something days, and I'm just like, man, that seems so far away. And now we are less than 30. I can smell it. I can smell it.
Now, maybe that's just you, Tootie.
No, it is not. Thank you. I showered today.
Oh, well, even if you shower, you still got them stank farts. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Leave me alone.
They want to creep up on you and just go, ah, boy. It stinks so bad. You're like, oh my God, you got to get away from it. You know what I mean, Tootie? You know what I mean? You know.
Anyway.
Speaking of October, guys, our club game for this month is Wreckfest. Make sure to go grab it. Jump in on some games. We played a little bit on Tuesday night, and that's all I've played of it, Derek. I've got to play some of the campaign. I played against Brandon and Murdoch and Nate, and it was a lot of fun.
Is that the career mode?
Yeah, the career mode is like the campaign or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like they had like better cars than me and all this kind of stuff. But it is a lot of fun. I don't know how the game really works. But yeah, what is your experience so far?
It's just glorified destruction derby, because I played 3 different types in the career mode. I did the first one with the lawnmowers. That one was interesting. I'm like, lawnmowers? This is supposed to be what is this? But it was fun. And then I played one where it was like mud derby, where it's just basically like destroys, go through and wreck as many people as you can. That's pretty much, on brand. And then the other one was a race one where you had to go through the laps. And see, I thought it was just destroy it, and I'd have to redo it. Like I didn't get any credit for it. Like I got XP, but it's like, oh no, you have to finish top 8, and then keep finishing at least in the top 3 to complete it. I'm like, oh, this has layers, got it. So, and it's like, oh, bonus if you damage people. I'm like, okay, cool, now this makes sense. So I played 3 different types in the campaign, so it's interesting. It's definitely is like one of those, like, not to sound like a broken record, because a lot of games that come to Game Pass are great for Game Pass. We'll get into that later. But this definitely feels like it belongs on Game Pass for sure. Like, because I don't know if I'd spend. I don't think it wasn't a $60 game at launch. I think it was like 40 or 50 at launch. But I don't know if I'd pay the full price of admission for this.
Yeah, like the little bit I played, I'm like, this is like one of those like fun week 2. Like, like you would rent at Movie Gallery. You know what I'm talking about, Derek? You go to Movie Gallery, you go rent it. And then you come back home, you play it over the weekend, and then you'd bring it back. It's like that vein of game. It's like you're not gonna rent it again, but it's fun. Like I got to play, with a few of the crew members and everything, and so I'm enjoying it. Like that's gonna be like as far, like if I have any extra time, I might play a little bit here and there, but like I'm not gonna go too heavy on this one, because there's not a lot of depth in it. You know what I mean?
No, I'm about saying. I mean, I'm not a big car person to begin with, but it takes a lot for me to get into a racing game like Forza Horizon. I've always admired. Like, I would definitely like want to get into that because it's a driving game, like open world. Wreckfest is one of those like demolition derby, like I said earlier, to where it's different enough to make me want to at least give it a shot.
Yeah, 100%. And Murdoch said hence why he waited so long. It wasn't worth the full price of admission, but getting it on Game Pass, or going to Blockbuster because Movie Gallery's one copy was gone. Hey, I'm not saying Movie Gallery was perfect.
Yeah, no,
but Movie Gallery was cheaper than the old Blockbuster,
for sure.
And Blockbuster as well, like they didn't like. They would have more copies of the bigger games, but not necessarily like the smaller, like AA games. Like a AAA game, they might have 2 copies of, at least the one that was in where I'm from and everything. So, R.I.P. Blockbuster. There's one still open. Did you know that, Derek?
Yeah, in Oregon, right?
Yeah. They have like a whole documentary on Netflix. Pretty good.
That's right. They do.
Pretty good. Pretty
Wasn't
good.
isn't aren't they doing a movie on that? And then what's the guy from Ant-Man, the FBI agent? Isn't he playing? I want to say that they're doing a movie on the Blockbuster, like an actual like guy, and they cast was
You
it
talking
Jimmy
about
Woo?
Jim? You're talking about Jim
Yeah.
from The Office?
Um, no. The Asian guy, like who does like the magic tricks
Jim
and whatnot.
from
No,
The
no, no,
Office. Jim.
no.
Yes. His name is Jim from The
Oh,
Office.
you're not talking about Krasinski's character, are you?
Jim, the Asian dude, he is in The
Yeah.
Office.
Oh, I don't, bro. I've seen like 2 episodes of The Office, and that was like early Office. Like I didn't watch it.
You got to fix this, okay? I'm laying down like gold over
Bro,
here, and you're just like,
look. If this was 10 years ago, I'd say yeah, I'd have all the time in the world to do this. I've got so much invested. I don't have time to go through and watch all 20 seasons of The Office.
there's not 20 seasons, okay? There's 8 or
It's
9.
too many.
Okay. It's worth watching. Guys, put 5s in the chat if The Office is worth watching. Derek
I'm not
over
saying
here.
it's not. I'm just saying for me, with what all I'm invested in, I'm gonna at some point I gotta watch. I'm gonna start watching One Piece, and that's gonna be a trek down a rabbit hole that ain't nothing getting done.
I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you.
You know.
Shun him, everyone. Admonish. I need like an admonish button.
Shame.
Exactly. Thank you, Murdoch. Thank you. Yes, all the 5s.
He's just gonna spam 5s for the rest of the show.
100%. But yeah, there's our October Game Fest. We will be doing a review, and what I would like to invite all of you wonderful crew members is when we do our review at the beginning of next month, I want to bring you on and do like a discussion, like bring you on for like
we've let you slacked off for long enough. We all need to contribute.
because this one is more of a community game than anything.
Yeah.
So, and that's the whole reason I picked it was because like the community was way more invested and interested in it. So we're going to need your input on it. We'll bring you on. We'll let you discuss it and everything. I think it'll be a cool thing because again, it's a little bit lighter of a game and it's more about the experiences, the cool things we get to do together and online and all those cool things. So,
yep.
There you go, guys. There you go. But we got some discussion to get into, everybody.
Yes.
We got some gaming discussion, and I'm excited, guys, because we got a lot of good things to talk about. First up, Activision teases a new Crash Bandicoot game announcement coming at the Game Awards.
You know, it's just like bringing chocolate and peanut butter together. The Game Awards and a Crash Bandicoot announcement just goes well together. It's gotten into the habit of sending mysterious and sometimes blunt packages to content creators as a way to signal what's to come. For this tease, it's YouTuber Canadian guy who received a package from Activision, a pizza box that reveals Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, which is coming to Steam on October 18th. Below the announcement, however, read a cheeky tease saying, quote, hungry for more? Try our new Wumpa pizza for $12.08. The $12.08 price tag for the pizza is a not so subtle nod to the date of the Game Awards being December 8th. Rumors of the new Wumpa League game have been floating around for some time now, and though that is what it seems to be teased here, it could always just be some kind of new Crash Bandicoot announcement. So I don't know what Wumpa is. Forgive me for that. I'm assuming it's something in the world of Crash Bandicoot. Do you think it's something to do with Wumpas, or do you think it's actually another Crash Bandicoot announcement?
I think that they are going to. Okay, Wampas, from what I remember, are the like fruit that's in the game that you pick up.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like, Derek, follow me here.
Okay.
It could be a new Crash Bandicoot game, or since it's a Wampa League,
yeah,
that it is either A, a new Crash Bandicoot racing like add-on thing or a
Mm,
whole new game, or, and this would be crazy, and I don't think they
mhm.
would do it, they make a MOBA out of Crash Bandicoot because they have heroes and all of that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a far out there. I feel like if they did that route, it would be a mobile game.
Yeah, which I could
Don't get
totally see.
Yeah, so that was gonna be my next question. Do you think it's actually a console game, or do you think this is something like Diablo 4 Immortal or Diablo Immortal or whatever the mobile game was, where it's gonna hype people up only to let them down? It's like, oh, mobile game, great.
Don't you have phones?
Yeah, no. Well, the way Activision's going, if you have a prepaid phone, you can't register like on Overwatch and Call of
Yeah,
Duties.
yeah. I could see it going mobile. It really depends on the concept because so many companies are using mobile as a way to shore up money, get those wells in there and all
Yeah,
that sort of deal. Crash, though, I don't think goes well with the mobile device because it's more precision
yeah,
jumping and all of that sort of deal. So I don't know what this could be. You know, those are just kind of two like random out there. Like I don't
yeah.
think it's, you know, like a Smash Brothers or a multiverse. Like
No.
we've got way too many of those with like the
Yes.
Nick
Especially as of
Nickelodeon
late.
one. Yeah, it's like we got way too many of those out there. So like I think it might be racing, you know.
I was gonna say I think it's time because they ported over the racing game. So they did a port of the trilogy, then they did a remaster of the racing game,
Hmm.
then they did a new Crash Bandicoot
Yep.
game. So I
Yep.
feel like since that's taken off, I feel like they're gonna do a new kart racing game. So
Yep.
I think we're both in agreement on this one where it just makes sense.
Yeah. And league makes sense like vernacular wise that it's
Yeah.
going to be a racing league and everything. So guys, let us know, what would you want to see? Are you a big Crash Bandicoot fan? What would you want to see from a new Crash game? Do you want to see a ton of microtransactions?
Please no.
No,
No.
you don't. Activision, EA, whoever it is, you listen. I love Crash Team, but then you put all the microtransactions in there. And I was like, I ain't doing this. I ain't got time for this. I ain't
Ain't
got
nobody
time for
got time
this.
for that.
You know, a studio that I have always had time for is coming out hot and heavy between
Yeah.
2023 and 2025. Don't Nod has 8 games planned for release between 2023 and 2025.
Among these titles include 5 self published games, 1 in co production with Focus Interactive, and 2 games in development at external studios that the company will publish. Speaking during its first half 2022 results, Don't Nod CEO and chairman Oscar Gilbert commented, quote, "Our teams are fully committed to the ramp up of production and we now possess a rich pipeline that will be a strong driver of value creation for the next 3 years. After 2 years focusing on capital expenditure, international rollout, and the ramp up of the marketing and publishing departments, the 2023 the group will cross a further milestone in its development and start stepping up the pace of releases." So, while I'm excited because Don't
Mhm.
Nod does do narrative games really well,
Yep.
the first question that popped in my mind is, are they getting too overzealous? Like, obviously, yes, they've been ramping up. Like, they've been doing kind of the Sony move where
Yep.
funneling money into the studios and ramping up, getting more people on board.
Hmm.
But the first thing that comes to mind is Platinum Games. What happened when Platinum Games took off? They started taking on too
Yeah.
many projects and started getting too ambitious, and then they started getting watered down, mediocre titles that didn't last long or flamed out with a lot of fans. Now, granted, Platinum has been doing well the last couple of years.
Hmm.
They kind of stepped back, looked themselves in the mirror, and be like, "We need to put the pause on this." But, there could have been like the Transformers game, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that they did could have been so much better.
Yep.
But because they wanted to run, now, whether it was Activision, whether it was the licensees, who knows? But Platinum had to put their name on it at the end of the day,
Yep.
and they got the flack for it. So, are you afraid that Don't Nod will go the route of Platinum where they'll get too overambitious, or do you think that they'll go the route of like a THQ Nordic or a Sony where they're going to plan it out better and just put out, because THQ Nordic, while none of their games have been great. They do a better job of pacing it out and making sure they're not just rushing to hit quarterly earnings, that they're like planning out and strategizing where they want their games to launch.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. For me, I think Don't Nod has slowly grown over time.
Yeah.
Especially because of Life is Strange and everything, the
Yes.
success of that. But we've seen them partner with different studios, and they're already doing that here, with Focus and several others.
Yeah.
I think they're going to utilize smaller developers or other developers to be able to reach that 8 game goal. That is a short turnaround to hit 8 games in 2 years, though. Like
Yes.
that's very ambitious for a studio of their size. I don't think that they're going. I mean, hopefully over here, hopefully they're
Yeah.
not going to make that mistake, because they've seen big companies rush things. They've seen smaller companies try to grow, too big for the britches is what I,
Yep.
got told. You get too big for your britches over there. I think that they're going to do this very interestingly. Like they've solved a lot of the issues that they've had with their previous games. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
Life is Strange 2, how like crazy that release schedule was for it, and then
Yes.
fixed it with the games that have come out like after that. Life is
Yeah.
Strange, True
True
Colors.
Colors, yeah, because they dropped it
True
all at once. Like it was
Colors.
still episodic, but
Yeah.
they just dropped it all at once.
Wasn't like Tell Me Why was the other one that they did?
Yes, Tell Me Why was that one. It was only 3 episodes, but they released it. It was like a week, like they released it 3 weeks in a row. Like episode
Yeah.
one, then two was the following week, three was the week after.
Yeah, so they've solved one of their biggest issues, because they're all about episodic games. So I'd be
Yeah.
curious to see if we get anything different, or are we just going to get a flood of story heavy games, kind of point and click
Yeah.
adventures, if you will, which is fine because they do it
Yeah.
really well. But I would like to see Don't Nod go,
Branch out.
yeah, like the concept that Life is Strange has brought, people, kids with superpowers and all of
Yep.
this. What happens if we get like an action game with that?
Ooh, yeah.
You know,
That'd be great.
that would be really cool.
Especially
So,
with Life is Strange 2's abilities.
I need to go back
So
and finish all of that one, but yeah. So I'm hoping that they do it well. I hope they do it right. So only time will tell. But guys, we hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Nerd Cave News. Make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe. We do this each and every week on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Let's get into our next topic. This is the topic of the show. Xbox making that bank.
making money, printing money, as they say. Microsoft often tells us that Xbox Game Pass is a success and that the company wants it to be even more successful. But what does that success look like? Well, that's the tricky part because Microsoft never discusses raw numbers, at least until now. In a filing to an overseas regulator, Microsoft is hinting at the numbers that it achieves at Game Pass as part of seeking regulatory greenlights for its proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Microsoft is having to hand over details of its gaming division. Regulators and rivals are concerned the merger will cause competition issues in gaming. Much of the contention comes from the fact Microsoft could make franchises like Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Warcraft, and Diablo exclusive to Xbox Game Pass. Microsoft denies it will do this, stating it makes more economic sense to maintain the cross-platform availability of those brands. To help appease Brazil's regulatory body, CADE or CADE, Microsoft has given Xbox Game Pass revenue from subscriptions. As you might guess, it is a lot. It seems subscription revenue was $2.9 billion with a B for the fiscal period ending January of 2021. Doing the math based on the price of subscriptions, Game Pass had between 18 and 19 million customers at that time. Also at the time, the service was accounting for 18% of all Microsoft's gaming revenue. Importantly, this only includes Xbox Game Pass users or Game Pass users on Xbox, ignoring the millions using the service on PC. In other words, Xbox Game Pass is doing better than even those numbers suggest. Furthermore, this data is from early 2021. Game Pass has continued to grow since then, so the numbers are likely even more impressive today. You
Mm,
know, it's funny how all this stuff, because as soon as I read this article, it reminded me of the Epic versus Apple case, where
yeah.
a bunch of stuff got leaked, and it's like, oh, Game Pass was like, at one point Game Pass might have come to Nintendo Switch and all this other
Hmm.
stuff, and it's like, why does it take a court case for this stuff to get out? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, but it's crazy because it's over a year and a half old at this point. Um, but almost pretty much $3 billion, and that's not even including PC. Like, you can obviously make the case that it's almost double that amount now. Like, now a year later, and plus with PC factored in.
Yeah. Like, to the point, having PC not in those numbers. Murdoch asked, does that mean they don't care about PC? I don't think it's that, because PC is not necessarily like their, how to say this, it is not a console that they own. PCs
Yeah,
are not proprietary for Microsoft. Yes, they have
yeah,
Windows, but
that's a
just because,
service.
yeah, that, like, just because you have a PC doesn't mean you have a Game Pass subscription and everything.
Right.
So, and I think that's a loophole that their lawyers are probably using, is that
Yeah,
they don't own that sort of deal. It's not their thing. So that's why they're only reporting Xbox, because Xbox is and forever will be Microsoft's.
yep,
So I think that's why we're seeing only that, but only that at 2.9 billion with a B, as
yeah,
you would like to say,
yeah.
is huge, and that's from 2021. Now they've grown because Game Pass is the best, like,
Value in gaming.
value in gaming. Like, if you don't have Game Pass, you're wasting money. To
Yep.
be 100% honest. And
I
then,
just re-upped my subscription.
yeah, and like, we're getting Plague Tale this month, Innocence. I like, there's so
Requiem.
many. There we go. You can get Innocence right now. But including PCs, or including, I wonder if those numbers include Ultimate subscriptions.
Oh, because that's $5 more.
Yeah,
That's a
because, like,
very valid point.
yeah, or if they're
I
capping it at
assume it.
9.99.
I assume they are including this because Ultimate was years ago when they added that in, so it's not a recent thing. So I would assume so, but like, we're getting in the weeds on that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we're arguing semantics at this point. Like, what? Because we're just lucky that we got numbers period from
yeah,
Microsoft. Because I mean, they haven't done numbers period since Xbox One.
yeah, yeah. When they started getting whooped, and I think it's like, hey, Phil Spencer is like, we're not going to talk about numbers. We're going to just put our heads down and we're going to keep working, and that
Yep.
has paid off in dividends for Xbox.
Yeah.
And again, like, we're only learning this because of a court case and everything.
Yeah.
So what else are we going to learn from this? And I'll remind me of a question. I'm on address
Okay.
Murdoch's question or statements. Steam has better sales, and I heard Steam is going to one night annual sale instead of summer winter stuff. Like,
Hmm.
Steam might have sales, and yes, you do get bang for your buck type
Yeah.
deal,
But that's only a
but
few times a year.
yeah, that's only a few times a year, and a lot of it is like, there are some really good deals on there. I'm not even going to
Yeah.
lie, but when we say Game Pass is the best bang for your buck in gaming, is you subscribe to it and you get a plethora of games
Yeah.
all the time. Like, it's you pay a,
New and old.
yeah, it's like $14.99. You get everything that's on Game Pass. You get
Yeah.
everything that's on EA Play. Like, all of these things that are added in on
Yeah.
that. And you also, like, if you have Ultimate, you can play on your Xbox, your PC. You also get cloud. So when we say the best deal in gaming, it's not necessarily sell prices, but it's like you get so
Yeah.
many things with your subscription. So
Because and I'm not yelling at you, Murdoch. You're just the one who posed the question. But tell me, Murdoch. Like, and I'm not including EA because EA does only 10%. What does Steam give you a discount, like a major discount, almost to free, completely free of a game at launch, because I know Microsoft doesn't do it for
Mm,
every game that comes out, but like I said, Plague Tale Requiem, $60 game. It's going to be free with Game Pass if you have a subscription day one. Like
yeah.
Steam doesn't do that kind of thing. Like again, they don't do it for every game, but they're starting to gain that momentum where a lot
Yeah.
more like bigger games, like $60 games, are going to be available as just
Hmm.
an extra thing for
Yeah.
$15 a month.
Yeah. With Game Pass and everything. And like, I understand the sales part, like, 75% off, but it's like most of those games that get those huge, deep discounts like that
Are
are
years old.
older. They've been out for 6+ months. So nothing like that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. Dan says, so Microsoft is the real reason for all this inflation. 100%. Blame
That's
Microsoft.
you know what? Dan's not You're not completely wrong on that one, Dan. That's a very valid point.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go, guys. I'm proud of Xbox. I'm proud that they're doing
Yeah.
something good. And I'm hope that we see more people adopt a real Game Pass model in their services. I want PlayStation to do a better job at that. I know they just redid all of those things, but I want to see even more out of PlayStation's new Plus system and everything.
Yeah.
Speaking of PlayStation, let's get into the PlayStation news. First up, PS Plus March games Ark Survival Evolved was the result of Sony shilling out a lot of money.
So remember back when Ark Survival Evolved was a PS Plus game for March? Well, that was a result of Sony forking out a hefty $3.5 million to secure the game for its flagship subscription service, according to a September SEC filing. Interestingly, Microsoft forked out $2.5 million to secure Ark for Game Pass for the first half of the year, and an additional $2.3 million to bring the sequel to the service when it sees the light of day. So I only bring this up because of the money that was spent in this. Like, yes, for both games, Microsoft will have spent more, but and we know the new subscription model for Sony didn't roll out till June.
Yep.
But I wonder if this is a roughly the same price tag that Sony pays for a lot of bigger games. Like, I know Ark's, you can argue semantics if it's if you consider AAA or AA or
Yeah.
whatever. But I wonder if they shell out a lot for these bigger games or like more popular titles. But it's interesting that Microsoft only paid $1 million less for Game Pass, and it was on there for way longer time than for 1 month that Sony shelled out for. Now, granted, I think the Arc Studio and Xbox had a better rapport together because I think it was one of the first games to hit their preview program. So I think they probably cut Microsoft a deal on that one. But what do you think of all this?
That is some hefty change. I've never played Ark, but I know a lot of people that love Ark.
Yeah.
Me personally, I know some people are gonna like off with his head. I don't see it like as this big of a deal, but
No.
3.5 million, like in terms of Sony money,
Yeah.
probably ain't a lot. And if it was a way to push people to get on PS Plus and everything, I think like just imagine how much money Sony makes off of PS Plus, their original PS Plus. So I don't know, man. It's a little strange that they would pay more for just a month.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they saw something within Arc that really made them want to do it. Because we've also seen where Sony will get something 1 month and then the next month Xbox has it.
Yeah, exactly. Because what game was that recently? Oh my gosh. Like literally just recently happened. What now?
Deathloop went free on PS Plus and then jumped over on Game Pass.
That's right. Exactly.
Yep.
And no, it went to Game Pass first, and then Sony the next month was like, yeah, you can get it free this month.
No, it was the opposite way because Sony still had their deal.
Oh.
That's what it was. So Sony was like, we got you, Bethesda. We're gonna put you on Game Pass. We're gonna put you on PS Plus.
So, and what's even more interesting to point out too is like they say this they're gonna pay $200,000 less for the sequel to come to Game Pass than they did the original arc. Like
Mm,
that's even wilder. So I don't know.
yeah,
I think it just comes down to the result of like arcs. Like we already are like together with Microsoft.
yeah.
But Sony, if you want to play hardball, you have to shell out more.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It's like friends and family discount type deal stuff
Yeah,
when it's like, this is just a stranger walking in and like wanting to buy something from you. Like you don't give them the discount. And
exactly.
with Microsoft has done a really good job of fostering relationships with smaller development teams than Sony has in the recent, past.
Yeah,
So I definitely think that's where it's like Xbox was like, "Hey, we'll help you out. We'll put you on our preview program, all these good things." And I think you see that from this breakdown of on cost and everything.
yeah.
Uh, Real quick, addressing some of the comments in the chat here. Dan says, "I'm not a big fan of the tiered subscription system that PlayStation is using," and I kind of agree. I'm still on the regular plan. Like I have not
Yeah.
upgraded it yet or anything.
I haven't either. Looking at it and seeing like, okay, I know they're putting for the top tier, they're putting more of the classic games behind it.
Hmm.
That doesn't appeal to me. Like, sure, would I like to play some of the older games I never got to play on PS2 and I never had a PS1? Sure, but to me, the mid tier is like the best value for what you get. Like, you get more
Yeah.
recent games or games that
Hmm.
have come out over the last couple years, or big hits on PS3 and PS4. So to me, if I were to upgrade, because I haven't either, I would go to the middle tier for that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and with it's interesting, like all the stuff that like you just got with like PlayStation now, all the classic stuff,
Yeah,
they're slowly like doling it out at the top tier.
yeah.
It's kind of I'm gonna just call it like I see it, kind of sleazy. You know
Putting
what I
on a
mean?
premium on nostalgia.
Yeah, and it's like all I want is God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They'll
But
they'll never do that day one though.
oh, no. They don't have to. They don't have to. Microsoft, on the other hand, has had to do that because, I'm sure they saw sales numbers not doing great because there was a time and place Microsoft was not putting out good games first party wise.
Oh yeah.
Because, I remember it was like Crackdown 3, uh, what is that?
Sea of Thieves at launch.
Sea of Thieves, and then what is that zombie game that they
State of
made?
Decay.
State of Decay. Like those were the games that we were getting from Microsoft for a while. And
Yeah.
then we got Gears 4, which was not that good of a game.
Mm-mm.
And then like they've slowly picked up the pace in some areas. I think them getting I always get these mixed up, but I think it's Ninja Theory. Is it Ninja Theory?
That
Senua's
does.
Sacrifice.
Oh, yes, Ninja Theory. Yeah.
Okay. There's Ninja Theory, and then there's another one that's like Ninja something. So like them picking them up, Gears 5. I say this all the time. Gears 5 is the best that we've gotten in recent history
Yeah.
of Gears. And if you haven't paid Gears 5, go pick it up on Game Pass. Maybe we do that as a game club one month. We do Gears
That
5.
would be dope. I would be down for that for sure.
And we could do like co-op. Oh my god,
Ooh,
4 player.
yes. And they have that Hive Busters DLC story.
Yeah, man. Like I would be so down for that.
For
So
sure.
down for that.
But random side tangent.
Okay.
Where is, now that you said, what was the other game I just popped into my head? Oh my gosh. But Forza Motorsport and oh my gosh, what is the other game?
Dirt.
That we haven't seen in a while. But there was two games that we have not heard one peep from in a while. And I'm like, what are y'all doing over there? Like, you're showing off Send You a Sacrifice every game awards. Like, where are the other games that you've been showing off that comes to next gen or the current gen? Like, what you doing, Microsoft? When is this dropping?
They're waiting on Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Please no.
They're like, well,
No, by that point, like they'll be on their Xbox Series M or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They go through all the letters of the alphabet. Brandon over here throwing shade at you, bro.
Look, man, I've embraced it at this point. I started going gray at 18, have not done just for men. Like, I look distinguished, sir. Like, I like it.
You know, it says in the good book,
Hmm.
everybody, that gray hair is a crown of wisdom.
I am a very learned man, but I wouldn't say I have wisdom just yet.
I was gonna say Derek ain't wise, but you know he looks like it.
I knew, I tried to cut you off at the pass before you did it, but you still came in there with your smug comments, sir. Oh,
Always.
State of Decay 3. That was the other one. State of Decay 3 and for the new Forza Motorsport. We have not heard mum on those for months. Like, what are y'all planning?
They ain't planning nothing. They ain't planning nothing.
Forza, they need to, because that's one of their flagship titles. That used to be one of their 4 pillars.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon says if needs some wisdom about something from Publix, then I'll ask him. Whoa, man. Oh
Mm.
man. Yeah,
I mean, that's fair. Just don't ask me about smoothies, apparently, according to Zach.
there are no
Publix don't know. Publix produce, even though they name it, they
that
apparently
ain't no
the smoothie mix.
That's fruit. It ain't smoothie, it's fruit. We're getting off.
Never mind.
We're getting off on a tangent.
Exactly.
Dan says you're lucky you guys aren't in the same room. I'm hoping one day, guys, we can get old Derek down here. Y'all put some.
I don't know.
In
You
the
keep
chat.
on. You keep on. You won't see me for that Five Guys. I'm just going to Venmo you the money.
No. You're a man of your word. If I know anything, Derek, you're a man
Yeah.
of your word. And
No, I said I'd pay for Five Guys. I didn't
No.
say I had to physically be there.
No, the bet was whoever won has to buy Five Guys for them physically. That was the bet.
I want someone, Murdoch. I need you to do I need you to do the Lord's work and go back to when we made this bet early in the year, because I remember paying for Five Guys, but the physically part a little fuzzy.
Oh, so you don't want to see me? Is that it?
I didn't say that, but you keep up with that sass, know.
I'm gonna just say this, Derek. I want to just say this. Nothing would be better than to review God of War Ragnarok in person with you.
Ooh, that'd be great. But
yeah,
months after we beat.
Well, I'm just saying,
yeah,
we play it. We go get Five Guys.
Yeah.
We don't do it the same day because Five Guys usually doesn't agree with my stomach.
Right.
We gonna sit
Need
down
a day reprieve. Either that or review it and then reward ourselves by doing Five Guys.
Yeah. Do like a meet and greet. After.
Exactly.
Like we do the live show. And then it's like, okay, guys, we're gonna go meet at Five Guys now.
So, Murdoch, don't you play middleman?
Yeah, exactly. All right, we got to keep going, guys. Derek got himself on a tangent here, but there's a new report we got to talk about here. New report shows how PlayStation Studios Malaysia is and will continue to play a key role across Sony's biggest franchises.
Malaysia studio head Hasnul Hadi Samsudin and a member of PlayStation's visual arts team based in San Diego, Neil Ingram, spoke at a panel at Level Up KL in Kuala Lumpur. IGN reports, speaking about the studio's work on The Last of Us Part 1 and MLB The Show 2022. Quote, so far it's a very small contribution. When we started, the team was very small. A lot of what we are doing is asset development for the games, especially for MLB. For The Last of Us Part 1, there was this thing called death hints, which are tips that tell the player what to do in certain situation, and Sony's animation team were supposed to be working with them, but there was a lot to be done, so that came to us. But now we have a full-fledged art team, so we can do environment modeling, concept art, and we have a brilliant animation team that is working on some games that we can't talk about right now. Support studios are key in the process of getting most AAA games that we see today made, and having a studio like Malaysia has already proven to be a great asset. It's also part of Sony's strategy of a global approach to game development. It's one planet making games, said Neil Ingram. The Malaysia studio has already worked on two of the biggest PlayStation franchises that we know of, and are likely working on other big first-party titles soon to come. As the studio grows, it'll be interesting to see how often the Malaysia studio logo will appear now for first-party games. So, I bring this to you because
Mhm.
we know that there's a lot of studios doing work, and we already know because the first thing I thought was like, well, are they just going to be like another Blue Point? But then it's
Yeah.
like, well, why would Sony buy Blue Point
Mhm.
if they already have one under their umbrella? So obviously they're a support studio. You know, they're
Yep.
going to be bouncing back and forth, doing other things. Do you think, because they says they're working on some other games, do you think that Sony will eventually give them a shot to do their own stuff eventually? Or two-part question. Do you think they will? And then how soon do you think before we see them do their own stuff, if they do?
So I think eventually they might get out of the remake side of
Mhm.
things. Blue Point is a remake studio. Like they do phenomenal job at it. Um, I think that Malaysia is being utilized in that function right now because Sony is waiting for other things to come out. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to pad things so they're having options of things being out there.
Yeah.
Remaster of Ghost. No, there's not Ghost, but there's like the director's
Yeah.
edition. Then we get the Last of Us one remake, and then we're getting. And then Horizon, we talked about it last week. Horizon
Yeah.
getting a remake and everything.
Yeah.
So the possibilities here are we get more remakes until we start seeing new things coming out. We're
Yeah,
getting God of
exactly.
War, but like a lot of the studios are in building mode right now. They're
Yeah.
building their games, so there's not a ton out there at the moment. So I think Sony's just like, okay, let's get them remakes out there. I think once that period is over and the new games start coming, I think Malaysia does get a shot at it, because I would much rather have Malaysia get a shot than getting a Media Molecule 10 years working
Yes.
on Dreams type
Yeah.
deal.
And to come out and be mediocre.
Yeah, yeah. Like, no shade to Media Molecule and all of that, but it took way too long.
Yeah.
And, even Sony had talked about that. They mismanaged that studio. They should have put the shoe down, the
Yeah.
shoe should have put him down. You know what I mean? He should have
The
shooed him
hammer.
away. Yeah. Um, so I think I would rather give a studio that's done great work an opportunity than continue to give a studio that has underperformed
Yeah.
more chances. So I think that's what we're going to see.
I agree. I think eventually they do get their own shot. We saw for better for worse, Ben's studio get their shot as outside of being handheld gaming to just like console gaming. They did do Siphon Filter, but that after a while it eventually went to just portable stuff and
Yep.
handheld, and they finally got their shot again on PS4. Love it or hate it, they got their shot. So I think that's true. And like, talking about games if they already worked on like MLB's their big sport franchise,
Yep.
and especially with it coming to Switch this year, I'm sure they needed more extra hands helping, with that side of
Hmm.
development. And if they're already working on like, granted, yes, it's a remake of part one, but if they're already working on one of Sony's crown jewel franchises, it's safe to say that, or it's not out of the realm of possibility that Spider-Man 2 they could be helping on.
Mm.
The Wolverine game they probably could
Yep.
be helping on. Um, and who knows which one, like what is this? Is this the does that
Vicarious
include the
Vision.
PC version? Like are they helping with PC ports, or are they
Mm.
is that just exclusively Nixus? Are they helping with an eventual Ghost of Tsushima 2 or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like it's interesting that they tease this because it's like, oh, we're involved in some of the big franchises as well, but eventually we
Yeah.
want our own shot. So it's nice to see that Sony is getting all hands on deck for a lot, and utilizing
Yep.
their studios, unlike companies like Ubisoft, who has 20 plus studios under their umbrella, and you feel like not all of them are being utilized effectively.
Yeah. 100%. Like, we're fixing to get a ton of like Assassin's Creed games the next 5 to 8 years,
Yeah.
but it feels very mismanaged. Like Sony, I feel like they've closed the studios that have underperformed for the most
Yep.
part, and they are tightening the reins essentially and guiding the beast that is Sony
Yeah.
into to what it needs to be for the most part.
Yeah.
So hopefully Malaysia will get their shot and everything. I'm excited to see what they're able to come up with, what they're going to be able to do, and only time will tell. But we got some news for you right now, and they're pretty quick because this is the
Yeah.
PlayStation Quickies.
I see what you did there. I love it. Sony reportedly aims to ship 30 million PS5s in the fiscal year of 2023. PSVR 2 rifle dock concept revealed by peripheral manufacturer. Kojima Productions confirms Elle Fanning will appear in the studio's next game. Following that, Hideo Kojima sparks more Death Stranding 2 hope as he's visited by Sony marketing execs. Dying Light 2 3-hour trial has been added to the PS Plus Premium for PS4 and PS5 users. You can now link your PSN and Steam accounts with Marvel Spider-Man, which is the first game to introduce this feature. The Last of Us Part 1 was made due to the desire of having a, quote, definitive version of the game. And lastly, the news we've all been waiting for to make it official among official, God of War Ragnarok has gone gold, baby.
The king is coming.
Exactly. Winter is coming.
Mm.
Thimble winter is coming.
Yeah, it's worse than the long winter in Game of Thrones. 100%.
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Zach sends me, I'm at work, not being able to see all the news that happens throughout the day. He sends me this text of, the symbol with the Omega symbol gold and from Sony Santa Monica being like, God of War Ragnarok has gone gold. And I just sent him the victory screech SpongeBob emoji. Because, that's what it's all about. And then this joker proceeds to send me a GIF of Five Guys, just reminding me. And I'm just like, that's where the whole thing of like, you know what? I'ma just Venmo you and not come down, because if that's all you care about, you don't deserve Ragnarok, sir.
No, I was the one that had faith it would come out this year. You're over here like, no, I'm gonna get pushed. You were over here hoping. We had to wait longer. I'm over here ushering it in, preparing the way. Some would say, prepare the way. Prepare the way.
Part of that was only because I didn't want to see you win again. But it is what it is. Neither here nor there,
baby. When you Zach, it's all winning,
and it's all perfectly legal.
So perfectly legal. People are like, "What is going on here? What is going on here?" Oh well, I'm excited. God of War Ragnarok has gone gold. So many cool things happening in the world of gaming, guys. Let us know what you're most excited about. But the show's not done yet. We got one last segment, and I think Derek has been practicing. He's been getting ready.
I got my speed timer.
He got the speed bag. He's like, I'm Barry Allen, and I'm the fastest man alive.
Until a new speedster comes in, and I'm not the fastest man alive again.
And then you're sad, Barry Allen.
And then you're mopey, Barry Allen.
Yeah. And then you lose Iris. And then your child dies in front of your eyes. What? Spoilers alert. All right, guys, let's jump into these quick hits.
So to start off, Dead Space, the remake that got a release date last week or a week or two ago, has a collector's edition, which will include a fully wearable Isaac Clarke helmet. The Callisto Protocol is reportedly 12 to 14 hours long, with alternative routes to reach the end. Need for Speed Unbound, it was teased last week. It's now official, coming December 2nd. Will only be on current gen. Will run at 4K 60 frames per second. Includes offline single-player campaign, crossplay support, and will have 140 plus cars at launch. Ubisoft is trying to give its studios more autonomy through a new global creative office. Some CD Projekt Red news. CD Projekt Red is set to put hundreds of developers to work on Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. CD Projekt Red will test new Witcher and Cyberpunk games on all platforms going forward, not just PC. Cyberpunk 2077 Stadia save files can now be transferred to other platforms, including consoles. New Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer showcases evolutions, TM crafting, and more. No Man's Sky is out now on the Switch, and the Waypoint update for all consoles is out also now. Catan is coming to consoles next year. Bethesda confirms Deathloop and Dishonored universes are connected. Ed Boon says NetherRealm hasn't made the last Mortal Kombat yet. Some Call of Duty news, starting off with rumor. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 could be getting footballers, including uh, Messi and Neymar. Modern Warfare 2 will include Overwatch 2's most controversial feature with the SMS verification feature. Rumor, Modern Warfare 2 to get campaign DLC in 2023. Another rumor, Treyarch's Call of Duty for 2024 to feature 2-year life cycle. Doom running in Notepad at 60 FPS is now a real thing. System Shock remake is reportedly coming out March of 2023. 2K hacks saw user data stolen and put up for sale. Sonic Frontiers is getting Monster Hunter themed DLC on November 15th. Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden will go multi-platform on January 19th. Google's new gaming Chromebooks are designed for cloud gaming. Bastion and Torbjorn are temporarily cut from Overwatch 2 due to bugs. However, Overwatch 2 is offering double XP and a free skin as apology for rough launch. Splatoon 3 Pokemon-themed Splatfest will launch on November 11th, along with Splatoon 3 Amiibo. It's at the point where, by the way, I'm glad that Nintendo is keeping on with the Amiibo gimmick. At the same time, let it die. Meta acquires the studios behind Iron Man VR and Resident Evil 4 VR. Among Us VR has a release date of November 10th. Meta has officially announced the Quest Pro VR headset. Following that, Valve job listing suggests a new VR headset is in development. Xbox Cloud Gaming is coming to the Meta Quest. Volition will support Saints Row, quote, for the long term, and the first major update is coming in November. Cuphead Collector's Edition announced and includes an 8-inch handcrafted Cuphead marionette. Some Multiverses news. Multiverses update unloads Stripe and the Halloween event. However, the Halloween event will require massive grind to unlock everything, especially for non-players. Embracer Group CEO says it's thinking, quote, decades ahead with Lord of the Rings IP. A, quote, AAA Dungeons & Dragons game from the Dark Alliance studio is in the works. And lastly, Valve completely overhauls the Steam mobile app.
So many things, Derek. So many things.
Yeah.
I like multiverses. I think it's a fun game. I wish the grind was not there. Like, I understand it's like they got a battle pass and everything, but it feels like over grindy.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Over grindy. And then the other thing that I wanted to hit before we wrap up the show, guys. Modern Warfare 2 getting DLC.
Campaign DLC.
Yeah, campaign DLC. That's weird.
Yeah. It's so not Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Because I'm not bold enough to say that Call of Duty has never gotten campaign DLC, but it's probably been since like the Call of Duty was just straight numbered that it probably ever got that.
I'm racking my brain.
I don't think it has, but I could be wrong.
I'm looking
because all the DLC has been multiplayer maps.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if maybe the original Modern Warfare 2 might have.
I mean, if you want to be of the utmost technical, it wasn't campaign, but they had a narrative with it. The first time Zombies mode was introduced was at World at War, and they put the whole the president and some government officials were like the secret zombie, like they were the last remnants, and they had to fight back the zombie horde. So if you want to be technical, that was like an end game thing, so it wasn't technically DLC. But if you want to get technical, that was it. But I don't count that.
Yeah, I don't count that either. I think this might be the first time, to be honest. And it might be some sort of zombies thing.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's just a rumor and everything. I think Brandon is right. I think we're right on that as well. There hasn't been any DLC for the campaign for COD.
Okay.
So, hey, there you go. First time for everything. Activision's like, hey, let's get some more of that money.
Right.
More of that money. Murdoch
More
says,
like Microsoft's like, we need to recoup this billions we spent on you guys.
yeah, which I think they'll get back in no time if they're they get to actually buy it. So there you go, guys. There is the episode 1045 of the Nerd Cave News. Hopefully you enjoyed it, guys. Make sure to hit the like button, share it with somebody that you love, hit the subscribe as well, so you don't miss out on anything that we post here on Nerd Cave Network. And make sure to come back next week where Tootie and the Blowfish will perform his big hit, I Am Out of Toilet Paper.
Oh my gosh.
Be a
Lord have
man,
mercy.
use your hand as the subtitle.
That's your motto to live by.
We don't talk about that, Derek. We don't talk about that. Guys, we hope that you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to do all those cool things. Go find us over on patreon.com/nerdcave and use our creator code when you go over to Epic Games. Get those PlayStation goodies. Use code NerdCave at checkout, guys. We love you. We hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the evening. This has been Zach.
And Tootie and the Blowfish.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye. Night. I don't want to keep y'all too long, and I kind of want to enjoy the rest of my evening. But we've served you up hot and fresh some delicious news, guys. And I'm excited that we get to do it again next week. We will be live over on twitch.tv/Nerd Cave Network on Tuesday. We're going to be hanging out and we're playing some games. It's going to be a great, great time. Come be a part of that. We'll be live here again next week on Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time for more of the news, the nerdy news you need to know. You know what I mean? We got shenanigans, we got news, we got an awesome community. Come and be a part of our Discord server as well. Guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, awesome weekend. Make sure to tell somebody that you love them and enjoy your time off, guys. It's going to be a great weekend. Derek, enjoyed it, man, and I am excited that we get to continue to do the show.
Yes, sir. I'll say these consecutive weeks are a good thing.
Yeah, I know, man. Just that snowball is a rolling. The snowball is a rolling. All right, guys.
Sir.
We love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.